Okay, welcome everyone to session 2 of Blades in the Dark, Dregs of Duskvoll. Um, Not Greg's. Um, so yeah, last session, our band of Bravos hit over a Bill Hook fighting pit. You succeeded, although one of you got some trauma over it, so that's a thing. And I think said we were going to do the downtime actions at the beginning of this session. Is that right? Excellent. So anyone? Actually, first I should let it go around and let everyone introduce yourselves. I'm Kyle. Any? Oh, and this was all organized through the Gauntlet. You know, the GauntletRPG.com, the online community of role-playing games. It's a lot of stuff up there. All right. Let's go next to you, Stephen.
Hey there, I'm Steven, he, him, playing Clave, also he, him. I got some time in the fighting ring last time. I think everything went well for me. Don't know what Kyle's talking about. Uh, yeah, I'm just a little traumatized out, just a little.
You can have a little trauma as a treat.
Yeah. Let's see if I can force this character into retirement in 4 short sessions.
All right, Dan, tell us about yourself and 12s.
My name is Dan Pusel, and tonight I'm playing 12s, who is a Whisper. And let me see here. I think that's all I've got.
All right, Josh.
Yeah, I am Josh. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am playing Drav Welker, who is a hound, whose pronouns are also he, him, his.
Great, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris, they or he, and I'm playing Finch, whose pronouns are they, any, who's a lurk who focuses on acting as a courier primarily.
So in the aftermath of last session, we left off with people doing some. We stopped before people did some downtime actions. Did anyone have anything in particular they were looking forward to doing?
I'm interested in learning more of what I can do with the Bill Hooks paperwork that I managed to grab.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. I think that's probably. I think that'd be a long-term project, I guess, going over the notes and using them to figure things out. Or alternatively, you could use it to you could study it to gather information for your next job if you'd prefer. What would you like to do?
I was thinking more in the realm of long-term project. I know the billhooks are cozy with the bluecoats, who are going to be a bigger problem down the line. The billhooks aren't that strong relatively. I think they're like a tier 2, but the bluecoats are, and the bluecoats have even more powerful friends. And as we sort of gain prominence, I know we're going to end up going up against the bluecoats more and more. So if we can learn more about the billhooks and undermine them, and then use some of that information to hopefully learn more about the bluecoats to then be able to undermine them, I think that would put us in much stronger position in the future.
Sounds good. That's a long-term project.
Sounds good to me. I have no idea how to document that, so I assume you are doing so.
Yeah, you can do that in Roll20. Basically, you roll a trait and then basically roll. You add ticks to a progress clock. So For the trait, I think this sounds like a study action personally, because you're studying the notes.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what you're talking about. We just go and smash some blue coat heads together.
My character, much like I am in real life, is a very tactical coward. Never start a fight that you can avoid by undermining someone ahead of time.
Finch, we've all got to learn how to take a punch eventually.
I have delicate bone structure. It's not for punching.
Delicate bone structure. I remember I used to have that.
I can manage the clock. Just roll the dice, and I'll keep track of the clock.
I just realized this is the second character I've played now with you, Kyle, who has tried to teach other people through punching.
Is it a straight fortune roll, or does it have like position and stuff?
Just a fortune roll.
Got it. Standard effect. No bonus.
Ouch, you rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that for long-term projects, there's no penalty for failure. You just mark 1 tick of the 4-tick clock. You do have a second downtime action if you'd like to do this again.
Let me hold off on that and see if there's anything else that it makes sense to do instead. And if I can't think of anything better, then I'll do it again.
Okay. Anyone else have something in particular you were looking to do?
Into some desktops. Go out looking for a bit of trouble. Yes, I do some training in prowess.
All right. In that case, you get to mark 1 XP.
The nice thing about already being bruised, you just get some bruises on the bruises. Really toughens you up.
Yeah, that's how you build those calluses, I hear.
And that maxes out my prowess track, so I'm taking a 3rd dot in skirmish.
Excellent. And you do have that second action still.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the upside of traumaing out is that you don't have much stress to get rid of still.
Yeah. I did want to max that out. I don't think it would be smart for me to start. Well, I guess how many dice would I be rolling with for Sawtooth? Nah, I'm good with just 1 harm. That's what pushing yourself is for.
Okay. I guess while you're thinking over your other action, let's go to Dan. What are you thinking for 12s?
I think 12s would be interested in going to popping over to Night Market and seeing if he can score some wax cylinders to satisfy his vice. He's going to try to go on a shopping spree and find some rare recordings.
All right, then. Yeah, roll to relieve your stress. Roll dice equal to your lowest attribute. So I think that would be 1, I guess, for you.
Yeah. Let me see here. Where'd you go? There we are. Fortune roll 1 die. Is that right? Or should I roll prowess, which is 0?
I think it's fortune roll with 1 die.
Okay, thank you. Oh, pretty good. So that is four stress.
Yes. Which, that's lower than your total, right? Yeah, excellent. Good, because, yeah, you don't want to overindulge. That causes problems. And you've got the other action as well. And while you're thinking that over, we can go over to Drav. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I think that Drab is going to do some training. I'm going to train prowess. And I think I'm also going to train my playbook advancement for my 2 actions in this downtime. Fictionally, Drav is out around town, lurking around, practicing, shooting bottles in an alley or something. Passing time, trying to blow off some heat from having very publicly, fired a gun several times inside of a crowded building full of gang members.
Makes sense. Go ahead and mark XP on those tracks. Okay, and we're back to you, Finch. What did you want to use the other action for?
I want to get patched up, so I'm not sure. Does a 1 harm just sort of resolve itself now that we're out of the session?
Let me double check how the harm works between sessions.
I believe
Thank you.
any harm sticks around until you finish your healing clock. When your healing clock fills, 1 harm goes away, and everything else is downgraded 1 level.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so how does one advance one's healing clock?
You either tough it out, I think, and mark like 1 stress and then take the lowest of 2, or you go see my doctor. He sometimes confuses his hand. He might confuse your hands for your feet, but he's otherwise a good guy.
So if I convert the harm into stress, can I then do a de-stress action, or am I done?
Do you mean like rolling resist to resist harm?
No, I have 1 lingering harm, and it sounded like Stephen was describing some method by which
Well, you don't
harm...
really convert it because it's one option is just to tough it out like without medicine, but it's not a great option because you're going to be rolling 2 and keeping the lowest, which means that it's going to take a while to fill. I do have a doctor friend who I think you should see because that way you'll be able to at the very least be able to roll 1 die.
Okay. I'm debating because I only have 1 harm, but I have 4 stress.
1 harm isn't a big deal. I
Yeah,
generally would
was
say
my
hang
thinking.
hang off because
Yeah.
filling a healing clock usually can take like 2 or 3 actions if you're unlucky.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna instead indulge my vice and take down my stress some. I think that's a good idea. Thank you.
Cool. What is your vice and how do you indulge it?
So my vice is the weird, and I indulge it by purchasing increasingly more elaborate protective charms from a Taichirosi guy named Ojak in the market.
What I like is that none of these actually mean anything on your character sheet, so they're basically ever more elaborate, useless charms that you're buying.
Essentially, yeah, like they are no more effective than the basic like Spirit Bane and Demon Bane charms that you can just like have, but Finch is convinced that like buying lore and buying better and better charms is the best way to protect themselves, and especially because the last job was kind of spooky, it feels very appropriate to freak out and go get extra protection afterwards because I'm so stressed.
Sounds good. Okay. And what are you going to do with your other action, Clave?
Yeah, I think now that I'm thinking through it, I think Clave, we pulled in some heat from that last job. I'm gonna need to. Clave is gonna go around, have a nice talk to with some of the people friendly with the bill hooks. Let them know that they shouldn't be chatting about seeing me fight in the arena. Uh, After all, they saw me fight, so they should know that it's not a great idea to get on my bad side. Yeah, so I'm rolling with command to try to re reduce heat a bit. Let's see
Sounds
what I
good.
do there.
I clicked resolve to do the mechanics for mine because that's one of the two like areas I'm lowest in. So I think that just clears out my stress because it wasn't actually
Yeah,
a resistance roll. I think I just clicked the wrong button.
and yeah, and there's also that indulge device if you want, and it will automatically roll equal to your lowest.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, that's a 6, so all 3 heat get cleared.
Nice. Yeah, you're down to 0 heat then for the crew.
Yeah, and then we still have, I should note, our current vault is 5. We currently have 5 coins in the vault, so we either need to take one more action, or we should like allocate out these coins a bit. So does anybody like, if you wanted to like further investigate that long-term project, I'd be fine with that.
That sounds interesting. Is there anything else anyone needs to resolve or that would prefer to do instead of that?
I don't have anything I need to rush on.
Can we talk about that long-term project? Is that something you're doing around our base? Is that something that is your project, or is that something, because my 12s is just real good at studying stuff.
I think
If
that's
that would be
definitely
helpful.
I think that's definitely something I'm doing around the base. I'm not like trying to hide it. I'm like, hey guys, I got all this paperwork. I'm going to start trying to paint a picture with it.
And
Okay.
don't forget that if you do have like a friend who could help with that, you enlisting a friend or contact that we're on good terms with adds a bonus die to the roll.
Okay, yeah. I definitely have a contact too who can help with that. Petra, the city clerk, she's going to understand some of the more esoteric like forms or stuff that might be in here. So I think can 12s roll then? Or
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Dan
you
roll
can.
for?
Does that work?
12s can,
Okay.
yeah, use his other action to
Yeah,
study.
use your study to do the
Sweet.
thing. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's a cool project. Okay, there's no risky or standard or anything like that. And we are employing your friend to help with this for a bonus die. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, so we get 1 bonus.
Okay, sweet. All right, we got a 6. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, that's good. On a 6, you get to tick 3 ticks, which fills up the clock. So yeah, you get the results of the analysis. Basically, you're looking over the notes. You find out that that even this establishment was pulling in way more money than it could have, given the the level of clientele and everything you saw. It's you're pretty sure that they're getting some extra money from somewhere, and with the help of your clerk friend, you look over it some more. Yeah, the blue coats are paying the bill hooks for some reason.
Huh.
Yeah, from looks of things, it's they're being paid to do some extra work for the blue
Yeah,
coats.
like out of curiosity, from that long-term project, are there any like leads here of somewhere we could perhaps hit for as part of like as like out of curiosity?
Yes, I think so. Well, one thing of information you're going to learn for sure is that the all of the money from the Bluecoats seems to be going to Corin. The current leader of the Billhooks is named Tarvel. Corin is his son, and it looks like all the Bluecoats' money is going straight to him, and not the rest of the Billhooks in general.
Well, I think that's some unequal distribution of capital you found right there. I think we can see about distributing that to the more needy.
And once we hit them and get the score, we can go tell Papa Billhook that his son's going behind his back. That's going to probably shake their organization up a nice bit. Might knock him down a few. Is tier a thing we would say in character, or like just down a few pegs?
Yeah, pegs.
Yeah.
Tier is more like an abstract representation of like where of their status.
Yeah. So out of character, if we show that the son has been arguably betraying the father, it's going to cause instability in their leadership and maybe knock him down a few tiers, make him much less useful to the Bluecoats, strengthen our position.
I think that's a good, firm idea you got going for you there, Finch.
And yeah, while you're talking that over, you get a message. When you're talking that over in your hideout, I guess your headquarters, and you get your thug Ashlyn comes up to you like, "Hey, bosses, Belle Brogan wants a word," and she's the de facto head of the budding union in Coleridge, and also your patron, effectively. So, if she wants a word, you should probably go get to it, unless you want to lose a patron, I guess.
No, yeah, I'll go have this. I'll go have words with her. Who's this again? Who is the messenger?
Your thug Ashlyn.
Yeah. Wonderful. You can send her regards, and we'll be there, and we'll be there. We'll be on our way.
Cool. Yeah, she wants all four of you to show up at a sort of local neighborhood pub called the Broken Axle, and it's an old building even by the standards of Coleridge. Sort of smoke smells sort of soaked into everything. Family group. It's not exactly high class, but it's the place people have been going to for generations. And when you come in, the bartender just kind of like waves you into a back room where Belle Brogan's waiting for you.
Belle Brogan, a pleasure as always, and I do a kind of like awkwardly formal bow, and I'm being very polite. Like I take her hand, give it a kiss on the fingertips, as one does when when like meeting a lady.
She, gives you a kind of smile, like she knows it's an act, but it's, at least a little bit charming, and like nods to the rest of you, like, heard about that job you did on the bill hooks recently. That was some good work.
Allegedly. Thank you.
Yeah, allegedly, of course. You're good upstanding citizens who would never do anything criminal, of course.
Why, that's always how I've described myself, Belle. I don't know how else you would describe someone like myself.
But I'm afraid doesn't seem to be the end of our troubles with the bill hooks. You took down that ring, but I'm getting more and more word of more bill hook operations opening up, and they're just putting more money into it here. It looks like they're making a move in force to head into Coleridge.
Well, that was something that the rest of us were talking about, seeing if we couldn't smash up some of their other holdings, keep them from keep them from getting their little blue coat boot-looking paws onto any any uh, any of the working folks' uh, business.
It's right appreciated. Word around the neighborhood is that it's Master Slane, the fat guy who runs the factories here, and you've heard of him. He's pretty much arguably the worst of the factory owners in Coleridge. Drives people the hardest, less respect for basically anything. Just working them like dogs. And Bell tells you that he's putting out a lot of money lately. Pulling in some extra muscle, opening up some more factories. He seems to be doing a major push. And rumor is he's going to have a shipment go out to the Bill Hooks, next couple days to pay them for services rendered. Basically trying to bring them in as extra muscle.
Would we know any of the context around this from our recent investigation into their paperwork?
Yeah, I think you would, because there's, most of the money they've gotten so far has come from the blue coats, but there has been some notices of oh, we've taken some losses now, but we'll get some extra profits to make this up as soon as Slane comes through with this, that sort of thing.
Well, specifically, I'm particularly interested if this is part of the mainline Bill Hooks operations or if this is another of the Sun's side jobs.
This looks like a pretty new thing from what you can tell. This is, you don't have the full perspective just from things papers, but it looks like it's a new line of business for them. So yeah, Bell, looks at all four of you and is like, listen, the payment's going to go through, and if Slane manages to pay the Bill Hooks, they're going to be coming in here probably even more force than already, and we're going to have to deal with another group of thugs trying to keep the workers down. I want you to intercept the payment.
Works for me.
Yeah,
Always did want to try my hand at a bit of highwayman. Well, I guess they wouldn't really have highways. A bit of train robberies.
I'd love it if we could do it in some sort of subtle fashion, but that score is definitely ours.
Any questions, anything you want to say while you're in the room with her?
Oh, I assumed she would start giving us details. Like when and where, and do we have a sense of how many are involved? What kind of force we might be going up against? Anything like that. Or if she doesn't know, she doesn't know, but...
Yeah, the money's coming in from outside of Duskvoll. It's coming in on the rail lines, and the next couple days, and she gives you the specific date and time. Basically, just telling you to do anything you can to stop the money from getting off the rails and into the hands of the bill hooks. She doesn't really care how you do it, just so long as the bill hooks don't end up getting paid. Bonus points if you manage to somehow make it look like Slane is intentionally screwing them on the payment.
think that we could manage something like that. This rail line, is it do you know if this rail car who the well, I guess that's more something we can find out through gather information. But well, yeah, I'll know if this is something being run by the factory, or are they just are they just running it through the oh, the whatchamacallit, the faction that the Railjacks.
Slane is paying it with his own money. He's probably done some deal with the Railjacks, but once the train arrives in Duskvoll, it is not their problem anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we hit at the station because we don't want to piss off the Railjacks.
Well, I'm thinking maybe if the Railjacks get their pay, we can see if we can't get it a little diverted from its proper location, so to speak.
Maybe. The only hesitation I have with that is that my assumption is that until it hits that station, it's going on tracks through the Deathlands, which I do not volunteer to go into for no reason.
The way the rail lines work, they do pass through. Coldridge isn't on the edge of Duskvoll. The rails pass over the plantation fields, basically the main farms of the city, before they arrive in Coldridge proper. So there is an area where it's past the lightning barriers, and so you wouldn't have to go to Deathlands to rob the place if you wanted to get it in transit.
Okay, that works for me.
But yeah, I think it's time to start doing gather information checks. Drev, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Drav is gonna go out to the outskirts of Duskvoll and try and find a place where, like, maybe if there's any place in the farmland, the inhabitable farmland, where the train could be derailed or stopped, like far enough away from any actually like active farmhouses, that we would have some time to, loot it and run before any locals like were on the scene.
Makes sense. I think that's sounds like a survey roll.
Okay.
I could see hunt too if you. And I think survey's better.
Okay. So a survey roll. No, that is a 1.
I'll survey as well, with the particular focus for anywhere. I'd be interested in the potential to essentially get onto the train, like jump onto it from above, take the stuff, and the train isn't even late arriving in the station. We just leave them an empty crate. So I'm going to be particularly focusing on that. Do I do a straight fortune roll?
Yes.
And then standard effect. Can I talk to my contact Petra to get a bonus dice?
Explain how Petra be useful.
Getting a detailed train schedule from her, exactly which trains are going to be exactly where, when, which lines are going to be in use, when various railjack patrols are going to be in various places, that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Get the extra dice.
Thank you. 1, Yes. 562.
Okay. Let me think. Um, so you're looking around, looking through at the routes of the rails coming in and out of from the Deadlands, and most of them pass through Dunlow, where all the main farms are. And basically, they do kind of have the rail lines have to bend the route around the farms, as it were, because they don't want the rails going straight through their buildings. And you can find a place actually near the Iron Hook prison where it's the rails have to do a couple of turns in a pretty quick succession, so they're moving a lot slower than normal. It's um, you know pretty good. If you had to jump onto the train, that would probably be the best place to get it. It gives you a couple minute window to get in, get out. And what are you going to do? 12s?
Uh, I think 12s might further study this document that we stole from the bill hooks. If there's any information on this interaction in there, maybe there's like what bill hooks they're expecting at the handoff. Maybe there's a code word. Maybe they're expecting. Maybe there's notes on like, well, make sure that this fellow wears his red hat because that's who they'll be looking for. That kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think that makes sense.
Because I think if we like an idea might be that we impersonate these folks to do the handoff nice and quiet like. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. That is a 4 and a 6.
Okay, so that's a 6. Yeah, you would take the highest. Uh, yeah, actually, you do have you got lucky on the back of one of the ledgers. Looks like some guy used it as scratch paper and jotted down some notes on the actual meetup. Like, so yeah, we've got a squad of like say 6 people total, 6 bill hooks coming to meeting them at this spot right on the train yard. Just head in, meet him with the passphrase. Let's go with uh, the chicken feasts on goats, and then they just hand over the trunk they've got full of the money, and the bill hooks go on their merry way. And on we're on to Clave. What are you thinking?
Yeah, would it be, oh, actually, we should be marking off 1 coin from our vaults because we spent that. Would it be an acquire asset to actually see if we couldn't get the some cooperation from the railjacks? I'm just kind of thinking about my options here.
I think I think we could just treat that as a gather information roll, just rolling
Okay.
consort
Yeah.
or sway, I suppose.
No, it's probably consort. I'm probably not. I'm probably just kind of hitting up some of my hookups. But yeah. Well, I guess both literal and figurative here. Yeah, consort. Let's see if this works. Hey, I rolled a 5 on 1 die.
Okay. Um, I think what you sound out the rail jacks, and from the sounds of things, they don't much like Slane or the bill hooks either. It's just his money spends as well as anyone's. So they are definitely willing to look the other way and stuff, so long as you make sure that this doesn't blow back on them. So if basically once they figure once the train stops, it's not their problem. Uh, or even if no one can prove you did anything to the package while it was on the train, they're happy. And they're willing to give
Right.
you like a proper, like some schedules, some. If you cut them in for like a coin or two, they will give you some, proper schedules, passwords, that sort of thing, bit of access.
Right. Okay, but it sounds like if we didn't want to piss them off, probably hitting it while it's in motion would mean we need to like be subtle about this.
Yes.
Okay. It's good to know. I think I'd probably go to the rest of the crew to hear their thoughts on this as to whether we wanted to cut them actually in on this job before just handing off the money.
So yeah, you're back in your headquarters. You're comparing notes. What do you all think about the job?
I'm unsurprisingly in favor of the subtle option, particularly given Bell's interest in making it look like Slane is screwing the bill hooks. If we hop on the train while it's still going, take all but maybe 1% of the score and leave like a disparaging note, and then get off, or at least get to another train car before anyone notices, it'll look like Slane was just unhappy with their service and so only paid them a fraction to sort of flick their nose.
Yeah, there's a certain sense to it. The only concern is if something goes wrong, it's going to mean that it's not just the bill hooks who are going to be unhappy with us, it's going to be the railjacks as well.
I mean, I'm fine with paying the railjacks to not notice us being on the train. I just think we're giving them more plausible deniability too if we go kind of earlier in the schedule before it reaches the end of the line.
Yeah, I think though what basically I was hearing was that if like word gets out that we hit the train while it's in motion, it would mean bad. It would mean like blowback for the railjacks, which they wouldn't be happy with. If that's what I heard right from Kyle. Yeah. So it's a matter of we can hit the train while it's in motion, but if it gets like too public, then the railjacks aren't going to be happy, regardless of whether or not we cut them in. Although I guess, are you saying try to like offer them some coin as like to try to ameliorate things a bit?
Pretty much, yeah.
I guess we could give something like that a go.
Like, if it goes wrong, give them some apology money. Sorry, we messed all that up. Have dollars.
Suppose we could give that a try.
Twelves and Drav. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that trying to frame it on someone else is a smart move. I think that if we can, we go in quiet. Maybe toss some bribe money. I think if things go south, then we know what we have to do, and hopefully it won't come to that.
Yeah, I
And I-
concur with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. Sorry. I was just wondering if there's a way we could structure our loadout to essentially be flexible enough that if the first hit doesn't work, we can try the pretending that we're them at the other end.
Well, that's what not declaring what you're carrying until you're carrying it is the thing.
Yeah. Cool.
So you're going to try to hit the train while it's in moving, or while it's still moving. I think that's the plan.
It seems to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that this would be a stealth job. With you do have the entry point of because you got the decent, you know where the train's moving slowly because of the turns. Now I do have to ask, did you tell the Railjacks that you would pay them let's say 2 coin in exchange for? You don't quite know how much is going to be in the final payout. But will you cut them in for 2 coin and get their help ahead of time?
I think that we decided to save the coin and pay them 2 coin to try to ameliorate things if things go south, is what we
Yeah.
just agreed on. Yeah.
We can bring coin with and bribe them if we see them on the train.
Sounds good to me. All right then. So for the engagement roll, you start off with 1d6 for sheer luck. Is this operation particularly bold or daring? You are going to be hopping on a train and then try to steal it real fast, swap it around the evidence, and then take care of that all. You don't have a ton of time to work. You were muted there, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So I'd call it daring.
I just made a crack about being able to hear Indiana Jones music.
So the next question is, does the plan hit them where they're weakest? I don't particularly think so. I don't think they're particularly weak or guarded against this particular attack. I think this is in the normal place.
But we're hitting the weakest point of the train's journey when it slows down for the turns.
Okay, point. I'll give that to you. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? And I don't think you can count the clerk for this because she already helped with the gather information.
Yeah, she's not out here with a billy club. She's just providing info.
Anyone else have friends or contacts that you think could help?
I don't particularly think so. No.
Okay, so that's 3d6. Who wants to roll? I can do it. Let's see. I love the roll 20. The sheet's very helpful, but I have trouble keeping track of where exactly all the rolls are. Nice. Okay. You got a 6 on the fortune roll. So on a 6, you're in a controlled position when the action starts. Quick question before we get into this. Actually, I think I'm going to call, it's almost up to about an hour in, so I'm going to call a little break and we can get into things in a controlled position. But first, are you bringing your thugs with you on the train drop?
Well, I mean, we're not gonna exclude them like that.
Well, we are sneaking in, technically. Maybe we left our thugs at the station.
That's what I was thinking. They're ready to back us up if we have to go with Plan B.
You know, if something does go wrong and we have to stay on the train until we actually get to the station, then we already have our cohort waiting for us at the platform.
Okay.
Especially because the paperwork said they're expecting 6, right?
Yes, that's right. Okay, makes sense. They're waiting for you at the station, and I'm gonna, call it a break. Meet back up in 10 minutes, 35 past the hour. See you all then, and we'll get into the job. All right, just about time. Just waiting for Josh. Oh, Josh is back. Excellent. Right on time. Actually, a bit early. Great. We are all back. Everyone ready to go? Excellent. So, uh, yeah, the timing works out pretty well in your favor. You know the from the way the schedules work out. They get slowed down for the jump or for the turn. You all make your jumps right on to the top of the roof. And from the sounds of things, you managed to hit it a bit after lunchtime. The train happens to be arriving around then. So folks are moving around, making noise in the train cars below, making some, noise distractions for you. Now, the thing about this train is it's these days, very few people take the trains to travel through the Deathlands. I mean, traveling over the Ink Sea is pretty dangerous too with leviathans, but it's generally seen as the lesser risk than traveling through ghost-infested hellscape. But there are a few passenger cars still, and you're on top of them. Um, and this is probably the. Would any of you have taken a train out of Duskvoll before?
Uh, Drav took a train to Duskvoll from the Imperial City.
Finch definitely hasn't, has never left the city.
Okay, so Draft would recognize it. The most of you wouldn't. The train passed through the lightning barrier pretty recently, and it's got some, they drop the guards enough that the people don't get incinerated when they pass through, but the whole thing just reeks of ozone right now, and that weird, it passed through a literal wall of lightning. It's everyone's still a little bit jumpy, but distracted and stuff as you clamber on down into the space between the cars. And as you get down off the roof, you vaguely make out one of the railjacks saying to another, like, I think I heard a jump. There's probably some kids hitching a ride again. Let me go look into it. What do you do?
So, probably we question first. Are we at the relevant car or are we some number of cars away?
With that 6 you rolled, I'm going to say that you're right between a transport car and the the shipment is in a cargo train car that's just one length of the train away. So yeah, you're just one car away from it.
Would we want to hide inside the? When you say transit car, do you mean passenger or?
Yeah, passenger car. So it's it's people taking the trip, and there's like one passenger car between you and the cargo car with the actual payment in it.
Okay. Do we? How close did the railjack sound?
It's noisy out here, so it's hard to judge things exactly. But they're making their. You probably have, let's say, 30 seconds before someone starts poking around over here.
Well, I'm specifically wondering what car they're on.
Oh, probably the other car, like the. So you're in between, let's say, the passenger car and the dining car, and it sounds like the railjack was in the dining car behind you, with the passenger car ahead of you, and the cargo car with the next car up.
Okay, let's just move quickly and calmly through the passenger car.
I think I'm gonna call that a group. prowl roll to just blend in with the other passengers and the people traveling around and stuff.
Okay. I can take that unless someone else wants to. In which case, is my position risky or controlled?
It's controlled because of that 6 you rolled.
Excellent. And I'm going for a standard effect. And I don't think I get any bonus dice. What would a deal with the devil look like?
A devil's bargain would be you attract attention from a third party who is not going to be directly opposed to your heist. I'll tell you that right now.
We need this to be quiet. I'm not going to take it unless y'all think I really should. Okay, no bonus dice. I got a 3 and a 4, so partial success, I think.
Everyone else?
Well, this is a group roll, so. Fortunately, that 6 is on a 0 dice, so it's actually a 5.
That's a shame. Although, only one. Oh wait. Okay, yeah, you take 2 stress, Finch, because
2 stress.
Yeah. But the end result is a 5, so you're going to succeed with a minor consequence or setback. Let me think. Yeah, you successfully, hurry in, take your seats, in the passenger car, and then the rail jack, opens the door a few moments behind you, looks around inside, and actually, what loadout are you all going with?
Oh, I mean, I'm probably still normal. I don't.
Yeah, I think 12s is also in normal loadout.
Light for me.
I will also go with light.
Okay. Since you're mostly light, I think the railjack is going to give you a bit of a funny look. But then they're gonna just head on right past you because if the whoever jumped on wasn't in this car, they're probably going to be in the next one, and the railjack is heading on to the cargo car to poke his head in there. So you have a moment to think and plan, but the railjack is going to be in that place you're trying to rob without pissing off the railjacks now.
Could we wait him out?
You absolutely could, but you are on a bit of there isn't a ton of time before you arrive.
Could we...
I say, as a concerned citizen, someone is there like some other like exit to like the exterior of the train here?
Yeah, I think there is. The space between the cars is pretty exposed, really, at this point. Once they're past the lightning barriers, they retract most of the armor and stuff.
Yeah, it seems that someone was climbing along the outside of the train, and I kind of point in the opposite direction of where we want to go.
Sounds great. Roll sway.
I say that, of course, as a fine member of the moneyed classes myself.
Go ahead and roll.
Who leeches upon the wealth of the poor. What's position effect here?
I'm gonna say risky standard.
Yeah, risky standard. I'll push myself. Get some bonus dice. Is anyone helping with this?
Yeah, I can help and just sort of also indicate or point to the same direction you're pointing. Yeah.
That's a 5.
Okay, on the 5. Let's see. The railjack throws you a look like, really? Someone's climbing around the train? Ugh, damn vagrants always hitching around on these things. We'll take a look, but we'll let me assure you, your safety as a passenger is our top priority. We won't let any scoundrel sneak on board this train. And I'm going to start a clock with the train goes into lockdown. And I'm just going to... They think it's just 1, maybe 2 vagrants right now. So it's going to 6-track clock. And I'm just going to mark 1 tick to start it off. And with that, the railjack heads on over back to the way they came to the dining car to get the other railjacks gathered up and start looking around the outside for this miscreant climbing around out there.
At this point, I'm going to mark my hunting animal. So I have a trained hawk, which is currently flying. It's alongside the train, more or less, with which I have a telepathic link, which allows me to share senses and thoughts. So I can command my hunting bird, and also I can sort of keep track of what is happening on the outside of the train. Because if my hawk can see railjacks clomping around out there, then I can also have that information passed on to me.
That makes sense. Go ahead and roll a hunt to control the bird and get a good look at what's going on up there.
All right. Position and effect.
Let's go with risky standard again.
All right. I will roll that flat, I think. And that is a critical.
Nice. Okay. On the critical, your hawk gets some juicy info. It sounds like the railjacks are moving pretty slow. From the looks of things, they're all celebrating passing through the lightning barrier into safety again with a round of drinks, and they are really not excited to go search the outside of the train in case someone might be climbing around out there at this point. But moreover, you're seeing some interesting information coming in on the other side of the cargo. Let me rephrase. When your hawk's looking around, it spots something interesting in the passenger car with you. Some folks are radiating a lot more spirit energy than you'd normally expect for just a typical mundane passenger. The hawk thinks there's a possessed person in the car with you.
Yeah, Drav sort of gets that impression, and I think he, his hand, it like reaches into a pocket and he closes his fist around his spirit bane charm, and his fist just tightens. He is very nervous about that. He's gonna lean over and share that information. He whispers to the crew, someone in here is possessed. I can't get a good look inside. see someone in this, I don't know, 12s. This is much more your area of expertise. I would prefer it if this could be dealt with.
Yes, my friend Drav, don't worry, and I'll keep it very subtle. And 12s pulls out his, what I was just looking at this, his fine spirit mask, which is ornate and bizarre. And he places this thing on his face. It allows him to see things in greater detail in the spirit world, and just looks around, making a big show of looking around with this sweet mask on. Can I pick anything up with that?
Absolutely, yeah. Roll a tune.
Oh, great.
I think in this situation, it's going to be controlled. Probably, yes, controlled standard, because there isn't a ton of danger in just looking around with a freaky mask.
Okay, yeah. Great, and no bonus dice. Shoot. Oh. And
You got a 6.
oh, all right, sweet.
Yeah, you spot him right away. He's a older man. Surprisingly good clothes for a possessed person. In your experience, they generally aren't good on personal hygiene. But, you know, it feels like he shaved today or tomorrow at least. Decent coat. Though you notice he's got a briefcase, sort of very protective hand on it. Like, yeah, he's, you know, clearly very concerned with the contents. And he seems to be edging closer to the door to the cargo room, to the cargo car. You're muted?
Yeah, thank you. The person in question is that well-dressed man. Oh, the cut of his coat is fantastic. Look at that. I think I got a glimpse of the lining. It looks like it's some kind of silk. But he has a briefcase, and he seems to be a little edgy. On edge. I don't know if he's edgy.
It looks like he's heading for the cargo car. Might we want to let him get into the sort of inter-car area, and then, is this train elevated or ground level?
It's elevated. It's, let's say 2 stories up, 2 or 3 on general. Running on tracks. Like all trains do, duh.
No worries. Probably it is unethical to throw the poor sap off just to get rid of the ghost. Finch is tempted because ghost, but still clinging on to some ethics. However, we might want to let him pass through into the cargo car where he can be dealt with more quietly than around a bunch of non-combatants.
Well, we do have some rail jacks on board, and I'm sure if we leave him all nicely tied up for them, they'll be grateful.
So
And
yeah,
after all, we really only don't want the billhooks to have known we were on board. We never said anything about ghosts.
So the possessed person just sort of does a stretch, and I'm going to take some fresh air, he says to no one in particular, and opens the door between cars and heads out into the open space between this car and the cargo car.
Oh yeah, Clay will follow him out.
Yeah, we all follow forthwith. He's not going to be able to disappear on us.
Okay. Are you trying to sneak up? Are you prioritizing speed or stealth here?
I feel like we can just match his pace and also act like we're casually walking. Is that stealth? Or is that just walking?
I think that's just walking. Yeah, if you're not, rushing over, Uh, let me do a fortune roll real quick just to see how that goes.
Can I add that I also say, my, fresh air, that does sound appealing. And then,
Okay, yeah, you also head out over into that, open the space in between them, the cars, and you see that the possessed man has opened the briefcase right next to the car into the cargo car. Sorry, the door into the cargo car. He's opened the briefcase, and it's full of ghost bottles. Just yeah, bottled ghosts inside there, and it looks like he's, got the thing open, got right by the door. It looks like he's gonna, open the door in a second, and start just throwing the bottles in there. Uh, uh, you're muted, Chris.
what will that do?
Well, when you smash a ghost bottle, the ghost gets loose, and they're usually pretty angry when they get out of containment real fast.
Ah, poop.
But yeah, the man, looks over at you two as you all entered, like this. Hello, I'm just inspecting my wares. These antique jars.
Hmm. Yep, got a fine interest in those myself, and I pull out my claver and conk him over the head.
Okay, yeah, roll skirmish. Let's
I
go with,
mean, like, no, Claver does not see a reason not to.
yeah, risky standard, I'd say, because he does have his hands on a bunch of ghost jars right now.
Yep, I am using my fine hand weapon.
Can I assist by using finesse to like try to shut the briefcase?
I think so. I think that works.
Yeah, and if you're doing it as a setup action, you'd roll, but if you're just helping me, you just mark 1 stress.
Okay, I'll do that. Yes, I help by trying to close the thing marked 1 stress.
Okay. Do you have a devil's bargain?
Devil's bargain. The people inside the car hear the commotion.
Nah. Well, I am reckless. Oh, but this would. I mean,
Sorry. Can only one person help, or can multiples help?
Only one person?
Do we just break one of the jars instead? Could that be a thing?
Sure, if you prefer.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not careful about this. I just like conk him on the head, and no matter what happens, the one he's holding in his hand just falls and breaks.
Works for me.
I mean, yeah. I can already see that you're just looking forward to all this, so let's go ahead. And that's a 5 on 5 dice, so what happens here?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with you do conk him on the head, and he's possessed, but he's not invulnerable. So you definitely knock him down, but the jar breaks, and the ghost. Well, you're the closest person. The ghost is heading for you.
Okay.
It looks like he's going to try to possess you, unless you, put some other body between you and it, or something like that.
Can I use my Damn it.
Go ahead.
Am I muted still?
No,
sorry, I'm bad at forgetting which one is my mute button. Can I use my reflexes ability to interpose myself in my incredibly well-protected body to be like, back, fiend! While I bristle with like 5 different Spirit Bane charms.
Yeah, you can definitely use your reflexes for that. And you do have spirit paint. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I always have spirit and demon bane charms. Always. I sleep with them. Bad things happened in Finch's past with spooky stuff. Very bad things.
Okay, yeah, Finch, I'll let you roll attune. Let's go with risky greater effect because of all your spirit bane charms and stuff to try to just drive the ghost away from the party.
You know I have none in attune, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know. There's not really anything I can convince would be more appropriate.
I mean,
Okay.
I'll pull out my spirit bane charm as well and stand alongside you.
Thank you. Okay, I assume risky position?
Yes, risky greater, let's say. And you can always push yourself with +2 stress.
Yeah, okay.
Or take a devil's bargain.
What would the devil's bargain be? Because that would take me, what, from 2 to 3 bonus?
Devil's bargain. If you take a devil's bargain, the ghost that was possessing the guy is going to head back into the passenger car and start making some ruckus.
That actually works in my favor. I'm in favor, because then it's obviously like there's a ghost problem, not a heist. Shit exploded because of the ghost problem, so I will take that all day. Thank you for making my life better, sweetheart. I mean, you always do, but extra in this case. 3 bonus dice.
Wait,
God's
where's the
help
third
me.
one from?
So I pushed myself for 2 stress.
You can't push
helped.
yourself and take a devil's bargain. It's one or the other.
Oh, okay. I got a 6, a 5, and a 1. Should I re-roll?
Let's just exclude the last die.
Yeah.
In which case, I got a 6 and a 5. Huzzah!
Okay, yeah, on a 6, you do it. You just do it. You drive the ghost away. So you know that ghost is just out of its jar. It's disoriented. You whip out the spirit bane charm, and it just heads out. It's like, okay, this is not worth the trouble. It just leaves the train and heads out towards a random field in Duskvoll.
Wait,
So did we push
bargain.
Yeah, we went
Yeah,
with taking the...
That's the shattered jar ghost. The possessed ghost
Oh, okay.
goes around you and back into the. Yeah, but I think 12s would notice with his spirit mask or senses. The ghost goes around the group and back into the passenger car, and then you start hearing some like shouts of surprise and stuff.
I
from
can
back
take
there.
care of this. This is why I came on this.
I take the suitcase, open it up, take out one jar, put it into this guy's pocket, and then close the suitcase again.
While you're opening it, you notice several spirit jars and a bag of coins as well.
Well, I'll just hold on to the suitcase as a whole for now.
Pretty sure those jars are saleable.
I am going to bar the door leading to the passenger car. Drav is gonna, look around, see if there's any like pole or pipe or something that he can pick up to just, bar the door closed. So that way anyone coming from the passenger car would have the door stuck closed in their face instead of opening for them.
I think that would be a rec roll, and yeah, I think it would be a rec roll.
Okay, that makes sense. Devil's bargain looks like ?
Devil's bargain. The railjacks will notice your attempt, fail or succeed.
Okay. I am fine with that because there is plausible deniability. So I will take the devil's bargain. I will ask for help because I have no points in rec, so I would appreciate that if anyone is willing.
What are you wrecking up?
I'm wrecking the door, so that way no one can follow us through.
Yeah, I can, I think I can, help out with that. Just takes a little bit of, elbow grease.
All right. And then that is position and effect. Question.
Risky standard.
All right. With 2 bonus dice. 4. Partial success.
Okay, you succeed, but the railjacks are properly agitated now. I'm going to tick that clock for they lock down the train twice. So you're up to 3 out of 6 dots. Or clock ticks.
All right. Anyone asks, it was the guy knocked out on the wall.
So for the moment, I mean, you can see through the window a woman back there is suddenly standing bolt upright with very odd posture, just sort of like shoving people aside, trying to get to the door. And the railjacks are coming to deal with that back in that train car. But for the moment, you have a moment of peace and isolation in between the passenger car and the cargo car. What do you do?
We proceed. I assume we go into the cargo car.
All right. So do you go in guns blazing or try to talk your way in? Because I mean, you're pretty sure that the Slane's delivery men are inside there. What's your approach?
Oh, I didn't know there were going to be people.
Uh, so, so wait, so like well, so we're still trying to be quiet, right? Quietish, I guess we should say at this point. Look, we're just gonna throw all of the blame onto this unconscious guy here. Uh, I mean, we do have like now that we're just letting ghosts out onto the train. Is it an idea just to keep doing that?
Finch is going to have to give that plan a strong no. Why would we ever help ghosts make more chaos? No.
Maybe we don't actually have to release a ghost, but I've got some ghost busting equipment and might be able to convince the guards that there are ghosts about. I'm not sure how noticeable ghosts are if they don't want to be noticed.
I mean, and I kind of jiggle the suitcase if you want one to be noticed.
What do you think, Trav? I mean, working with ghosts has got to be against your religion.
Working with ghosts is, in fact, against my religion. Yeah, Drav does not like using ghosts. He likes staying far away from them and killing them if need be, banishing them to whatever hellish purgatory that they go to, having failed to be purified by the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh.
Look, because the only other alternative I see here is for me to put on these manacles and chains and just try to spook them up. If we want to convince them there's some ghosts here.
Wait, what if we're just scared passengers? Running away from the passenger car that is full of ghosts. very scary ghost. Like right now, they can look through the window and see the scary ghost acting weird and scary.
That is a good plan.
We're just scared passengers running away.
Ignore the meat cleaver.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think it's going to be a sway roll for whoever wants to, open the door and do the, oh God, ghosts are chasing us thing.
Yep. There are some. I kick open the door. There are some ghosts after us. As a leech upon the poor, I have no idea of how to handle this situation.
I'm going to do risky standard for that, but sooner or later, someone's going to notice that's not how they actually talk.
This is like whenever a rich person starts talking around Clay, this is all he hears them say.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to throw out a devil's bargain related to the fact that I keep just calling myself a leech upon the working class.
Devil's bargain, they will notice that phrase and you'll get an extra heat.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So they recognize I'm a slightly suspicious rich person. If they're not suspicious of the rich, they should be.
Anyone going to help, Clave?
I can throw some help out there. How does this sound? 12s can also rush in and hand one of these fellas a empty bottle and say, look, there's ghosts on the way. I'm going to catch them. You have to put them in this bottle. You have to hold the bottle.
I'm gonna bat them, and you're the catcher.
Roll with 2 extra dice.
And that's a 5.
Okay. Yeah, you see that there were 2 guards in here just kind of sitting on some of the boxes with one's particular trunk between them, just smoking, probably in the middle of a conversation when you walked in. And then when they start blurting out about ghosts, they immediately leap up like, shit, I knew we shouldn't have come through the Deadlands. And they both pull pistols. One heads past you all to the door, looking back into the passenger train with the possessed woman. The other one is just sort of hovering near the box, just like shit, ghosts. I hate ghosts.
I mean, if I just claimed I was possessed later.
Drav, their attention is not on you right now, even though they've got the guns out. If you wanted to ambush either of them, you've got a chance right now.
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, my guns have 2 shots in them because they are fine pistols. So I think that in this
Would it make
this
sense to
moment
push over the head?
Well, I'm not going to shoot them, but I'm going to pull my gun out. I'm going to, draw a gun on both of them.
Subtle.
And
Subtle?
subtle. Yeah, very subtle. And I'm going to hope that they don't turn around and see me with a gun pointed at them. And if they do turn around and see me with a gun pointed at them, I will then threaten them with the gun that I'm pointing at them. And I'm gonna tell them to open up the container that they are guarding.
You're muted.
I think that's a command roll, just to scare them into opening the.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll push myself on that. Position and effect.
Let's go with risky greater because they're already scared by the ghosts. This is not what they signed up for, and they're blindsided right now.
All right.
Would I recommend considering, at least before we definitely do this course of action, what if we just use like the command of sway roll to convince them that the ghost is in the chest, so they open it up without realizing that we are, threatening them and holding them up? Just an option to consider.
Would they believe that the ghost was in the chest, seeing as how we are running away from not the chest? Because if our lie is that we are running away from ghosts in the car behind us, and then we say, well, the ghost is in the chest, that might. I do not know if that is a believable lie.
It would require a good roll, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. We need what is in the crate, and they are scared right now, but I don't think they've left the cargo car. So certainly whatever we need to do, we need to either get them out of the way or out of the car. Somehow.
Can I propose a flashback to make this ruse more believable?
Yes, please.
I do have a dear, dear friend who is a possessor ghost. Although it is slightly unlikely that we might have prepared for this contingency, maybe we prepared for this contingency by contacting Nerix, the possessor ghost, and saying, we're going to trick the people guarding the box into thinking that we are not going to trick the people guarding the box into thinking that the box is possessed, because the box will be possessed by you. Can you do me that favor?
I'm going to ask you to roll consort to convince your friend to put his neck on the line. Well, actually, what's Nerix's pronouns?
Let's say his.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to. I think 12s is going to push himself in this and consort, right? Do we do position and stuff in flashbacks?
Let's call it risky standard. No, actually, no. Wait, I think it's just a regular, like a fortune roll, I believe.
Okay.
I think it depends what the action you're doing is.
Then I'll mark risky standard. If that is not what we want, then it doesn't matter too much. And one bonus dice from pushing. And oops. Nope.
Okay, on a 2, let's say you can get Nerix to help, but he's going to demand to be cut in on the profits. If that's... You're muted?
That makes sense. I don't think 12s could get that past the other people on the crew. Well, I mean, we would have talked about this. Could 12s get that past the other people on the crew?
I think Finch is gonna have to say no. Ghost's bad in Finch's personal world.
Fair enough. I'll take it.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the flashback rules again, and I think we can just say that if you spent the 2 stress that you spent, pushing yourself on that, we can just decide that you managed to convince Nerix to help you out this one time. So,
okay.
It's your suggestion. I think you somehow did manage to, with a bit of pleading and begging and promising, I'll pay you back, I promise. Nerix does flow into the cargo car and makes a show of it, rattling random crates, doing ooh, a ghost, and heads into the trunk that the guards were guarding, and rattles it around from the inside. What? So yeah, the guards are like, oh crap, crap! There's a ghost in the shipment. There's a ghost in the shipment.
You really should have checked what you were signing off on there.
Drav is gonna run to the other end of the cargo car and open the unblocked door. And he's gonna yell, "Go, go, go! There's a ghost in the shipment!" And hope that they run out of the room.
Yeah, I think that's a command. Go ahead and roll command. I'm gonna call it risky limited effect because this is their whole job guarding this particular car. But you can push yourself for greater effect.
All right. Yeah, I will do that. I will push myself for increased effect. No. Absolutely not. No. That is a 1.
Yeah, they're gonna be they're panicking now, and they're just like, pointing guns at all of you, like, no, this is too much has gone wrong. Yeah, you all get out of here. We'll handle the ghost. You get out. You leave. We'll take care of this. And now they're pointing guns at all of you. What do you do? This is now a desperate position. I'd say guns are actively being pointed at you.
I say Finch at least immediately puts their hands up and goes like, "Oh my word!" and like is sort of loud and obvious and distracting about it while moving back towards the door. My thinking is if we play along, they're probably going to look back at the crate soon. We can like hit them over the head. And they'll blame it on ghosts.
That's something that could happen. I don't think it's something that will happen, but it could, I guess.
Finch, I'll let you roll finesse to be a big distraction for the guards. It'll be risky standard, and they'll let other people ask. Sorry, desperate standard, and let other people ask with a bit more, or act with a bit more leeway.
Okay, desperate, standard, and what would a devil's bargain look like?
Things go badly in the passenger car with the ghost, so that the railjacks come that much closer to shutting down the train.
I think I'm gonna push myself instead. That's 1 dice for 1 stress, right?
2 stress when you're pushing yourself, 1 stress to help somebody else.
Okay, so 2 stress to push myself. Okay. I got a 2 and a 4. So I think that's a partial success.
Okay, let's see. Desperate. You do it, but there's a consequence you suffer. I think while you're acting, big in distraction and making a show of, playing along, one of the guards is going to panic and shoot you, and then they will be
so
very.
Are both back here now? I thought only one was here.
One was at the door, but
okay.
Came back in. So they are going to shoot you, but they'll be very distracted about accidentally panicking and shooting someone.
Well, it's time to start clonking some heads.
Is that instant death? Is it a fatal shot? Like how badly am I shot?
Not at all. It would be a level 2 harm, I think.
Oh yeah, that works for me. I won't try to resist that. I'm gonna take a very notable, very bloody like meat shot and scream loudly and dramatically about how I was just trying to visit my sick mother.
I mean, you might have some armor hidden under your clothes. I don't know.
Yeah, like I figured they like wing my arm or something. Like it's probably a through and through. Like I'm shot, and
Okay.
I would love to get medical attention after this, but I'm not dying. But it's real bloody and real distracting.
Okay.
So yeah, the guards are just like shocked and horrified. They just shot a random person, and they're like, "Oh God, this is going out of hand, or getting out of hand. Oh no!" And their guards are thoroughly down now. If someone wants to ambush them,
God, I wonder if I want to ambush them or just say, look, we'll take the crate and we won't mention anything about you shooting some random person, okay? But no, I think we'll clonk them over the head. Yeah, while they're doing this, I gesture. I kind of give the nod to 12 and Drav, and uh, like I feel like I want to try to take them out before like either of them respond. So if people wanted to maybe do a group skirmish roll to like try to take them both out at once or something.
I think skirmish or prowl will be reasonable for this ambush.
Because yeah, I can lead a skirmish if the other two of you are fine with that.
Yeah, it works for me.
Cool. Position and effect.
Uh, risky standard.
Okay. Oh, and do you also mark experience, Chris?
Yes, Chris does mark
Oh,
experience for doing a desperate action.
I didn't know that. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
you mark it to the track that that the action is under.
Thank you.
That's a 6 for me. Okay, so 2 stress.
But you get a 6, and yeah, you ambush the lot of them. You take them down. The conk them over the head. They go down.
The 12s and Drav just like we see the end, and like the two of them are just grappling each other by accident.
So the guards are unconscious. You're alone with the chest, and yeah, what do you do? Let's go with 12. So what do you do? What are you thinking?
I think, yeah, I imagine the answer is try to open this chest. How's the lock situation?
Well, is it too big? Oh yeah, we don't want to take the whole chest, right?
Yeah, I think the guards have keys on them, so it's easy enough to just open the thing up.
Okay. Yeah, I think give the password to our friend Nurix and try to pop that lock, open the chest, see what we got.
Yeah, you open the thing up, and inside you find mangoes. It's a whole chest full of mangoes, and this is not the right climate for them, so you know they'd actually sell for a fair amount because you'd have to ship them in, and that they would be, a fair luxury good at the moment.
I mean, technically, without a sun, I don't think anywhere in the world is the right climate for them at the moment.
There's some magic workarounds.
No, yeah, I assume it's magic, which is why they're so valuable.
And that's a lot of money. With the right fence, you could probably get, let's say, 12 coins out of this.
Yeah, we can leave a couple mangoes there just to.
Yeah, sorry, Drive, you were saying something?
Yeah, I think we take all but, like 1 or 2 coin worth. Leave just a scattering of mangoes in this crate.
We could eat a couple of them, but leave like the pit and skin, so it looks like maybe the guards or somebody on the train ate just a bunch of mangoes.
Yeah, I'll just slip a mango pit into one of the guards' pockets there.
Yeah.
And I guess it would be like a flashback to have essentially forged like a nasty note from Slain about like the reasons for underpaying.
Well, I don't think you know what Slane's handwriting looks like itself, but you could definitely, I mean, do the bill hooks know what it looks like either? So I think let's just call it just a regular study action. I think will work fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe mark documents to show that you've been carrying stuff around with you.
Yeah. Documents. I'm still under my total, so it's good. So is that just a fortune roll or?
Controlled standard, let's say.
Is that something that another one of us could have assisted with at the time?
Yeah, I think you can all like chime in with some advice, like ooh, call them dinguses or something.
Thank you all. I will add 1 bonus dice.
Be sure to comment that you are a leech on the working class. That is.
I'll take that under advisement. I got a 4 and a 3, so I think these are relatively convincing.
Let's see. I'm going to give you 2 options. Either you do it a hurried rush job, it's not super convincing, or you take your time and the railjack starts snooping around over here. Start drifting towards this car.
This was a flashback?
Oh, I was...
To have prepped the dock?
Just take a stress then.
Works for me. So that's what, 2 for doing a flashback plus 1?
2 total, I think. 2 total.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, you've got the guards knocked out. You've stolen most of the mangoes, left a nice, nasty note. Anything else you want to do on this train before you just book it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that like I've arranged to have a cart of hay left at a good exit point for us to jump into. How much would that be for a flashback?
Let's call it 1 stress.
Sure.
Just so
Got 2 to burn.
Just to remind you all, the possessed person trying to sneak into here did have the briefcase, the ghost jars,
Yeah, I still have that,
and the bag of coins too. If just so you know.
I'll spread the blame around. I'll put one of the ghost bottles in there.
Okay. All right then.
Nah. Actually, no. That would be a bad idea. That's giving them money.
I've got. We're an honorable gang of people. We have inadvertently allowed a ghost into a passenger car. Is that something that an honorable crew would try to take care of?
I mean, I might say yes, but Drav did already get my help in like busting the door so that it can't open.
True.
And I would also argue that these are the kind of people who can afford a cross-land passenger train journey. So, fuck them.
And in slightly more concrete terms, this is what the railjacks are good at and for.
Yeah.
They're handling it.
Their job is literally to chase ghosts off of the side of a train, so.
Yeah, like protecting train from ghost is pretty much what they're for.
Okay. In that case, I think you can all just jump off the train at the turn onto the prepared wagon full of hay. Yeah. With that done, yeah, you just jump on out. The train wishes by. You manage to glance through the windows as some people, as the ghost is driven out of the possessed woman and just sort of flies away into the sky. And you're left with your sack of mangoes and stolen ghost jars. And on that note, actually, let's go ahead and calculate heist, rep, and heat.
Okay. I've got it open here.
Wonderful. So yes, the payoff. Like I said, it was 12 coin for all the mangoes. And the question is, do you want to pay the railjacks for the commotion? Apology payment? What are you thinking?
How much would that be, to clarify for us? Like, how much would it be for like the apology? I'd say probably yes, but I also just want to know how much we should mark off here.
I think 2 coin would definitely get them to look the other way on this one.
Yeah, we send them that bag of coin. We send them how much? We send them like a coin from that bag, a coin's worth of coin from that bag, and some mangoes.
And maybe a note that says that they really need to improve their anti-ghost protocols because we did not bring that ghost through.
Yeah, we had nothing to do with any of that, I'm sure.
Alrighty. And in that case, now you gain some rep. Take 1 rep per tier higher.
Well, 2 base and then 1 higher.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
So how much?
They are the build hooks are actually no. Technically, you robbed from Slain. Let's say he's also tier 2. So that's 4 rep right there.
Okay.
We steal from the rich and give to the needy. We keep a wee bit sometimes, but we're not greedy.
Thanks for marking that off, and the rep off. And now on to heat. Let's see. I don't think this was a smooth and quiet job.
I mean, we did manage. Like, it's definitely not smooth and quiet, but I would say we did manage to deflect a fair part of the blame onto random other passing by ghosts.
Yeah, let's say it was a contained standard exposure, 2 heat.
1 for my devil's bargain.
Yes. And technically, most of the job happened in outside of Coleridge, so that I would say that's hostile turf. So
Okay.
4 heat total.
Okay.
All right. And the job is done. Let's call for a bit of a break, meet up at 15 till, and we can deal with the aftermath and the downtime.
Oh yeah, did we ever handle the aftermath from the last job? I think we might have forgotten that.
Oh, the entanglements? I said just to skip that because it was, on the, it was the first job. You had a 1 level of 0.
Right.
I decided to just,
Okay.
but we'll be handling that this
Oh,
time.
and how much? So the 12 was that the 12 coin? Does that include the coin that was in the briefcase?
You're gonna have to take that to a appraiser to get that measured. But yeah, we
Well, I
handle
mean,
that.
not like the bottles themselves, but you also said there was a bag of coin in there.
You know what? They're rare coin. Let's call that
Okay.
plus
Checking.
2 coin for that. So you're back up to 12 total.
Okay.
Plus unknown spirit jars.
Yeah, plus the spirit jars. Yeah. All right. Meet you up at 15 till. Okay, we're all back. Um, so yeah, you come back from your job. Couple days passes. You sell the mangoes real quick, find a good vendor, get the coin from them. Get the appraiser in to deal with the coins. You could get 2 coins if you sold them now. You have a feeling you could get more if you held out a bit for a better offer. And as you're all considering that over, Drav, you head back to your lodgings one night. Where do you live? Because there aren't quarters in your office, or your headquarters.
Yeah, uh, Drav has an apartment. Uh, he rents a room at the he rents a room at the top of a building. It is not. It's like a pretty nice building, I think, for Coleridge. Uh, but it is not, a particularly nice place. It's just like not a. It is above the poverty line, which is better than most.
And if it's at the top, they don't have elevators here, so the top floor is the cheapest floor.
Yeah, so he has a decent place, but it's because it's in this like it's at the top, the very top of like a newer, nicer building.
Sounds good. Yeah, you head in, and you're gonna see as you head home that day. There's a blue coat in the lobby, who's just gonna look over at you and be like, "You Drav Welker?"
Drav looks at the blue coat and he nods. He goes, hmm, "Who are you?"
I don't matter. Captain wants a word with you. He's in your place.
Well, thanks for the warning.
And yeah,
And
he's gonna walk behind you as you head up to if you do head up to your room.
yeah, Drav is going to, sort of rub his jacket down and head up the stairs. The several flights of stairs.
When you make it to your place, you find the door has been kicked open. And a blue coat in a fancy coat is sitting at your table drinking. Would Drav have tea, coffee, any kind of beverage?
I think that he would probably have some like, mushroom teas and stuff. Coffee might be a little bit rich for his blood.
Yeah, you're gonna see a blue coat in a fancy jacket, with the rank pips on the shoulders, just sitting at your table drinking your tea, and it's like, Drav, I've tasted better stuff than this in the office break room, and that is saying something, Drav.
Yeah, Drav is, standing in the doorway, and he nods. He goes, "Well, I can't exactly afford the nicer blends anymore. That is a bit out of my pay grade. I'm just a working man. So what are you doing here, officer?"
I'm here because I've gotten some disturbing reports from Coleridge lately. It's terrible news. There was some, business transactions going on in here, and some ghosts showed up and caused some problems. Ghosts, can you imagine that as a good, upstanding member of the church? You wouldn't ever truck with ghosts, would you?
You know what I think about ghosts, officer. I do not appreciate the inference that I would associate with something so profane.
Well, that's good, because we've gotten word that the Dimmer sisters are getting more active in this area. And, you know, we have a lot of things on our plate, Bluecoats, a lot of real crimes to look into. So most of your petty, low-grade things don't make the list. But the spirit trade, ooh, we would just hate to learn that a small gang like yours was getting involved in that somehow, wouldn't we?
I have no idea what you are talking about, officer.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, uh, keep that in mind then. Just saying that keep your nose clean, don't deal with the ghosts, and if you did happen to stumble across any sort of information about the Dimmer sisters or anything involving some loose ghosts or possessions on a train, well, we would just love to know about that. We'd love to know anything about that. And, the first person to tell us, they'd get off free.
Well, thank you for that, officer. I don't know that it will be relevant to me or mine, but it's good to have the offer, officer.
Yeah, the officer who I just realized I didn't say his name. He's Captain Vale. Just stands up, heads, finishes his cup, walks past you, just patting you on the shoulder, and make sure you got better tea when I come back.
Dref nods and goes, "If I go shopping."
Okay, and yeah, that's your entanglement from the thing. So you did walk away from that job with 10 coin in mangoes and 2 or more coin in actual coinage. What are you thinking? Do you want to sell that right now, or?
Well, I think the mangoes have got to go. Those have a shelf life, so.
Yeah, I guess we can hang on to the coins. We have like an absurd amount of corn right now, to be frank. More than more than is probably wise to have on hand.
That's true. And yeah, let me go ahead and make a fortune roll for how well your sowing of dissent between the bill hooks and slain went. So the way that works is, let me double check the rules here. Yeah, you made good efforts, and the bill hooks do hate being screwed on their payment. So I'm gonna roll 3d6, and higher is better. Let's see how well that goes. You got a 4. Yeah, the bill hooks are angry. It's not, they haven't broken off ties with Slain yet, but they're demanding more payment and they want it now. And Slain, the word comes through the grapevine, and Belle relays some stuff that her union members have overheard, that Slain is scrambling to liquidate enough funds to go pay off the bill hooks for services rendered.
If we're lucky, they'll send it on another train.
And it did end up going pretty well. Like as you said, the train jacks were able to handle the one possessed ghost. It worked out fairly well there. Do you want to move on to downtime actions?
Sure. I'm first off gonna go over to the Leaky Bucket Tavern. Get into some fights. Maybe that will lead into some of the other stuff. We'll see. So let's see here.
All right, well, the engage your vice or indulge vice.
Nope.
All right, you
Rolled
lose.
double ones on a 0 dice, so I only lose 1 stress.
Nothing stops you from engaging your vice twice in one session.
I mean, none of the fellas here seem particularly interested in getting into a punch up. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to start toss him some chairs around and see if that helps ignite some passions here. Let's see. Cool.
Double fives, nice. You are down to 1 stress now, which is good because you've already got 1 trauma marked.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on back to Drav. What are you going to do for your downtime?
Yeah, I am going to indulge my vice for my first one. So Drav is going to pay a visit to the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh, specifically. I know there is a landmark for it. To the Sanctorium in Brightstone, like the big cathedral of the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh. And he is going to attend services there, which are, very, like, bacchanalian, as they do. They are not the most bacchanalian because he, of course, can only go to the public services and not, the private ones for the,
Just the
donors.
public orgies, those are the worst.
Yeah, they only have, they have, a snack bar out instead of, a feast of just, bread and, mushroom paste.
They only provide the first 5 condoms for free. You have to pay for the rest.
Yeah. It is a subpar religious experience, but it drives a lot in life.
Sounds good.
Indulge stress. Indulge vice. I do not have any bonus dice. I don't think.
Nope.
So that is 1, which is unfortunate.
Okay. Yeah, you clear 1 stress for that. Do you want to engage again? You're at 4 stress now, or you could pursue some other options.
I'm going to engage again. We will hope that I get a better result. Oh no, that is the opposite of what I want.
Oh, you overindulge. In that case, you made a bad call because of your vice. What did you do? You got a couple options here. You attracted trouble, so you would select or roll an additional entanglement. You bragged about your exploit, so the crew takes an additional 2 heat. You got lost, so you'd have to play a different character into the next session. That might
Yeah,
have to
you become one of those people that overstay their welcome at the orgies.
Well, I think that I bragged about my exploits because I think that I took a beautiful ripe mango to this public service, to be able to actually indulge in the ecstasies of the flesh instead of just scraping by. And I think it is when you bring a mango into a bread and mushroom paste kind of service, it stands out.
All right, yeah, so you're up to 6 heat for that.
Clear of stress.
And on to 12s. What do you do?
Yeah, I think 12s is also going to engage his vice. I think he, that jacket got him in the mood. The well-dressed gentleman's jacket got him in the mood to visit Dunridge and Sons. He is going to, his pockets are full. He's going to, I think, try and peruse the jackets. Maybe put in a custom order. See how that turns out.
Fancy.
Okay, so 4. That's that cuts me down pretty good.
Okay. So you've got some another action to go, and you can spend coin to boost the effects of downtime actions.
Ooh. Let me see here. I think you know what? I think he might train prowess. I think he yeah, he might let me see here. And we've got the facilities for that in our hideout. So I think it might just be a brief montage of him trying to lift light weights. Yeah, just trying to twirl dummy guns. Yeah, I think that's how he trains prowess.
Nice. Let me double check that you can spend coin to boost training.
I don't think you can.
No, you can't, but you do get an extra XP, so you're 2 XP for the crew bonus.
Sweet.
It's mostly on rolls that have like tiers of success that you can spend the coin on.
Okay. And last but not least, we got Finch. You've got some stress. If anyone wants to try to lower the team's heat, you're the last person to do that.
I mean,
we have a pile of coin. I was planning on spending some of those to do that.
I was thinking we could spend coin to do extra actions because I am both shot and quite stressed, and I would like to try to deal with both of those if I can.
I think you have plenty of coin to get a couple extra reduced heats.
Yeah,
right now, so
I agree. So
I know this great guy, Doc Sawtooth. They say that one guy went in to get his appendix out. He took a kidney instead, but otherwise he's a great doc.
Needs must. The wind is currently whistling through my upper arm. Yeah, I'm gonna go and see Cleve's physiker of dubious provenance. Try to reduce some harm.
Roll 1d6 for that.
Yes, you have a it seems a hole in you. I assume that you didn't begin with that, did you?
I did not.
Yes, fascinating. And did you just appear there one day, or was there a cause?
I mean, it's so hard to say what causes things in this crazy mixed up city of ours.
I rolled for you. Sorry, it was a 1.
Yeah, see, this is why we're able to go to him.
So does that move my healing progress forward by 1?
Yeah, it's 1 tick.
Oh, wrong button. There's the first one. Okay. I'm also going to go indulge my vice to reduce my stress. I'm feeling extremely stressed because of all the spooky shit. So I'm going to go convince Ojak to sell me protection and secrets. 6, 3, 4.
Oh, he sells you a gold-plated Spirit Bane charm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you overindulge too. It's the week for it.
I'm honestly not sure if my stress count was right or not, but we can go with that, sure.
Okay. So when you overindulge, you have the same options. You can get an additional entanglement, brag about your exploits, or your purveyor cuts you off.
We have the coin. You might as well brag about our exploits. I mean, you're probably going on about these ghosts that we let out.
I was specifically thinking I would start very intensely interrogating him about, like, ghost jars and how they work and how one obtains them and, like, what you can do with them in a fashion that is probably a little suspicious given that there was
do you know anyone that
heist.
needs to buy an entire suitcase of them?
Yeah, and it totally started as, like, how do I protect myself from these, and ended with, so who would buy, oh, I don't know, an entire suitcase of these fuckers? Pardon my language. So yeah, I think I take the heat.
See, Clave did not say anything to the guy he hooked up with.
It's true.
Congratulations, you're at 8 heat, very close to your first wanted level.
I think we
I
can
mean, if
start
somebody
spending
wants to
time.
relieve stress again, I mean, I think we can manage it.
We have, I mean, we are currently very much overloaded on coin.
Yeah.
So I think it would be smart to spend one, get an extra downtime activity, and use that for a reduce heat.
Concur.
Reduce heat, trying to get to downtime activities. So what are we doing to reduce heat?
I could bribe Ojak to keep his mouth shut.
Like, Ojak, I buy so many ghost charms from you. Do you really want to send me to prison? You would be out of like half your gold-plated ghost charm business.
Pretty much, yeah.
You pretty much roll consort or command to reduce sway generally, or sorry, to reduce heat. You could also do sway.
I feel like this is kind of a consort. It's not like talking them into it, and it's not ordering them. It's like, hey, we have an existing relationship, man. Okay, so is that just a fortune roll then?
Yes.
Standard effect, no bonus dice. I got a 5.
Okay.
That's 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so he keeps his mouth shut about the heat that I brought. Does anyone else want to remove some heat? We're pretty high.
Yeah.
We are pretty high on heat. I will spend. Yeah, let's spend another one, and Drav is going to. Drav is going to rough up the blue coat that was, planted in his lobby. He's gonna, because the guy in the lobby seemed pretty green to him when he came in. And I think he's gonna try and find him outside of his apartment, and he's gonna try and sort of stare him down and get him to back off a little bit from, Dref. Maybe not watch as closely.
Sounds good. Roll command.
All right.
That's another 2 heat.
We are fixing our mistakes.
Yep. What do you know? What do you know? The fellow Bernard, he's a railjack. I should have known. Has the upper body strength of one. If you have some friends, if you could talk to them, not talk too much about all that stuff that was happening on the rail lines recently, I'd appreciate it. A favor for me and whatnot. Let's see here. And that's 1.
I think that's just 1
Yeah.
heat, yeah. Well, you're down to 3 overall, so that's a lot better than you started this with.
We still have like 7 coin over. So unless we want to split that up among ourselves, I think first off, Finch, you still need to work on your healing, right?
That would be good, yeah. I've currently got 1 2 harm and 1 harm.
Sure. Why don't you spend 1 more coin on healing and see how this roll goes? Just throw more money at this guy.
Roll good, baby.
You see, I wasn't giving you the actual medicine before. I was more or less, really, I was doing what I do with the majority of my clients, which is I tie some cloth to wherever they're hurt. But no, now that I see you have money, I can bring out the actual medicine.
The physiker mutters to himself, "I'm so much better at this when I'm sober."
Yeah.
I rolled a 6. You get you fill up your heal clock. Your everything goes down a rank.
Yeah, and Clay just goes around and starts intimidating some random bill hooks some more. Just fuck them. Just gonna spend some time doing that, making sure they know not to fuck with us. I'm using command to try to bring down heat a bit more.
Okay.
Cool, and that's the last of the heat.
All right, and you're down to, what is it? Is it 4?
None.
Oh,
Oh, 6.
6 total. Okay, so I would recommend you splitting this coin up among the crew.
Oh no, the coin. Yeah. I think we're actually down to 5. I didn't spend the coin for that.
Okay, so all of you can take 1 coin in your own private stores with 1 extra. Someone's gonna have to take an extra coin.
I mean, how about the one that didn't decide to brag to everyone about this last job we went on?
That's fair.
12s has caused remarkably little trouble for the group. You take an extra coin, 12s.
Was Cleve talking about himself?
Yeah, I was talking about myself.
Yeah,
But I guess
Oh,
everybody then
oh,
just hands
sorry.
off the coin.
I gotta-
Like if Clay was not being too indirect and that caused everyone to just be like, yeah, take a coin, 12s.
Yeah. You've been, keeping your head down.
Cleve, take that coin. I got to squeeze
Okay.
the jacket out of the deal.
And
Okay.
that's the heist. It went fairly well for you this time. It's amazing what money will solve for you. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording, and we can do Stars and Wishes call the night.
XP?
Oh, right, XP, sorry. I knew
Right.
I was forgetting something. All right, so let's start with you, Finch. You added the Desperate Action XP.
Mm-hmm.
You addressed a challenge with stealth or evasion. You were the distraction for a bit. I'd count that.
I think I did multiple challenges with stealth or evasion.
Yeah, fair enough.
I expressed my belief drives heritage or background. I don't think so. I think I did struggle with issues from my vice or traumas.
I mean, you overindulged. I think that counts.
And then does the one desperate action, does that get checked down here or only up top?
Only up top.
Gotcha.
All right. Now on to Clave.
Yeah, I addressed challenges with violence or coercion quite frequently. Beat some heads a couple times, then went around coercing people to not talk about my beating of heads. I expressed my beliefs quite frequently. I spent that whole job just calling myself a leech upon the working class. It came up fairly frequently.
Okay, fair enough. And you struggled with your vice.
Yeah, I caused some I recklessly endangered the rest of this crew.
Okay, I'll give it to you. So that's what, I guess.
I mean, I also went nope, just conk you over the head, not talking to the rest of the crew about this.
Fair enough. Yeah, that works. And sorry, did you mark that down? I wasn't marking your sheet
Yeah.
for you. Cool. On to Drav.
Actually, I'll spend a coin because I just saw my insight's almost max, so I'll max that out now.
Cool. Did you address a challenge with tracking or violence? You did track that ghost for sure, and you attacked some folks.
Did attack some folks. So, yes. Did I express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? I exploited my knowledge of trains, from my previous train journeys. And I also, was averse to ghosts.
Yeah, that works. And, overindulge, that definitely is struggling with issues from your vice.
Yeah, so that rolls over, and I have 1 tick back.
Excellent. Feel free to, pick a advance between sessions or whatever. On to 12s. You addressed a challenge with knowledge or arcane power.
I think so. I think especially if we count the working on the long-term project, I think we could say I'm going to make the argument for multiple times on this one.
I think so, yeah.
Sweet. I don't think I squoze any expressions of beliefs, drives, heritage, or background in there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and same with vice and traumas, actually. So it was pretty chill with vice and traumas.
All right, then. And then there's the crew experience track. You executed a successful smash. I call it a smash and grab. So that's 1 XP for that. You did contend with challenges above your station. So that's another XP. Okay, your official reputation is honorable, but it honestly sounds like you're you're developing a new reputation for strangeness. Because things tend to get kind of weird when your crew shows up.
I mean, we did not tell we did pay off the rail jacks for the trouble we caused them.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not going to get heat, but
Okay.
I don't know. You did pay them off for the trouble. I can see you're boosting honor, but it personally seems more like you're getting a strange reputation for the way things get weird.
Sure.
Yeah.
I marked an XP
I would
for
say
that.
that's more about developing a new one.
Excellent. Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
Well, there definitely was the whole do we just unleash some ghosts on this train argument in the middle of the job.
I think so, yeah. Excellent. Most of the way towards crew advance, so that's always fun. Okay, I'm going to turn off the recording and we can do, stars and wishes.